I have not met you yet, so I just want to introduce myself. My name is Yahada. Um, and this week's just presents sisterhood and in brotherhood. And so our sisterhood. Um, hold on. I'm gonna mute her really quick. Okay, so our sisterhood and brotherhood. So basically, the Rara Kakodash definitely has told me that this conversation, or this discussion, is very much needed, especially in Israel, where it will make the biggest difference. But something we kind of were touching on a little bit in our last discussion, if I'm not mistaken, and something that's been on my soul, is the importance of sisterhood and brotherhood. And so basically, obviously, like women who get married, there's like a stigma that if you're married, you can no longer, talk to other brothers, or you can no longer communicate with this, that, and the third. And it definitely creates this bridge or this unnecessary gap where sisters and brothers could actually make a lot of things change, make a lot of things work, and definitely expedite the deliverance of love. So this week we're just going into how it benefits, or if anybody has a con. But the definitely known way to see everything is that it's a pro. So the pros of sisterhood and brotherhood, but sisterhood and brotherhood together. So that's the focus of our discussion. And I'm just very excited to get started. I'm very excited to hear everybody's input. I'm very just very excited for us to go into this and dive pretty deep. Did either of you want to open up,
Open up to what?
or like did you have any opening remarks?
Honestly, like I said before, I'm just now getting into everything because
Oh,
of
okay.
my husband. So
Oh,
I can
okay.
honestly make no remarks at all.
Okay. So I guess I would start with what is your so I guess how long have you been serving the most high God?
Mm, my husband really made me get into it after we got married. So about how long have I been married? About 3 4 months.
Okay, so 3 4 months. Okay. So have you been introduced to sisterhood at all?
Mm, not really.
Oh, okay. So you're new to sisterhood as well.
Mhm.
Okay, so where was your or what is your tribe?
My husband told me. Mm, Judah. No. Is it Judah? Yeah.
Judah. Okay, Yehowadah.
And
Okay.
it's something else.
Oh,
Don't remember. My memory is not too good.
that's okay. Is he a so-called African? Doesn't really, to me you can't go off if somebody African American or not. Like my earthly father, he was born here in America, but he is not American at all. He is what they would call a Dominican. His father has Dominican roots.
Hmm.
Um, so that was what makes me a Simeonite. So a lot of people go off like what your most recent like where they were born. You just can't do that because many Israelites were born in Africa, then they were born in America, then they were born in Europe. But it's not like if you have a very strong like connection to Yahweh, that's not incorrect either. I'm not saying you wrong. I'm just saying like I don't want to sound like the cliche like is your father African American, because it's not always the case for everybody.
Yes, he is.
Okay, and then like sister Marjorie, I'm gonna have to call her Maria, at least a Mariara. That's how I'm gonna be saying her name, or Maria, for sure, because her name is very long. But anyway, and very pretty. She started off saying that she was the tribe of Judah, and through sisterhood, she we discovered that she is actually a Levi. So her father is from Haiti. So she was, and all of her children too. She said all of her children were Judah, and then come to find out, one of her children is Gad. Most of her children are Levi's, and I think maybe another one is actually Judah. So through sisterhood, through congregating, through fellowshipping, we were actually able to come to that conclusion, and help her find out who her or help her find out who her father is. So that's one thing, like, that sisterhood and brotherhood are necessary for, is to help each other kind of stay on that lit path and stay on the path of truth, right? So even though she innocently said, "Hey, I'm Judah," we helped her dive deeper into the truth, me and the Most High. We helped her dive deeper into the truth of knowing, hey, you're actually a Levi, and so are your children. So that helped her in her journey and in her walk. Okay. So it looks like, are you getting food? Are you
Uh,
grocery shopping? That was the quickest grocery shopping I ever seen.
I didn't get. I just went to get some snacks.
Oh, girl, you must have knew exactly where your snack at, because that was the quickest in and out.
Yeah, I just went to the corner store.
Oh, okay. All praises. So we are getting started. Obviously, you know that, but we will wait on a few more people to join us. Um,
Okay, so how do I know? Because the 15-minute phone calls that I get with my husband, um, it's not enough time to discuss like what is what.
okay, okay. That's, I actually really do love that question. Because it means that you're trying to still honor your head. Um, wherever he is and however he can put his input in. So that's another positive of sisterhood, is having a sister that helps you bridge um that gap between you and your husband, however it may be. Maybe he travels for work, or maybe whatever the circumstances may be. But having those honest sisters that can help you, like, better understand whatever it is your husband wants you to do within the household. So what are some things, or what is something that he's actually led you, or where is he leading you? And when I say leading you, it's like, what is the last thing, or what is your question in regards to what he wants for you?
Um, I think I pretty much follow my husband's word.
Okay.
So, but I'm wondering, like, can you be both? Because he's saying he's Judah and Levi, I think, because his grandfather. So wouldn't that make me, since he is the head?
Um, this is an interesting question. Um, I've actually looked into this myself. Like, does it make you both? I would say, if you were a Levi and you married a Judah woman, you would definitely see the huge differences between the both of them. Um, but technically, it would not make you. It wouldn't make you both. So he would have to see, like, is his dad Judah or his dad is Levi?
His grandfather is Levi.
Is that from his dad's side?
No,
No. Okay,
no,
so if it's not from his dad's side, then he would technically be both of those, but he would want to hear from his father, so he would need to know his earthly father. Does he have his father in his life?
no.
Oh, okay. Okay, I see. Excuse me. Hmm. Okay, so mm, well, with that, um, they try to revert. Um, they try to revert to like, where was he born? I know he says born in America. So
Hmm.
most of them, when they're born in America or when it's from America, they say that they are uh Judah. So he would have to see like, do he have any of his family from his dad's side, or it's a la?
Not that I know of.
Okay, you breaking up a little bit. Hmm. Okay, I'm coming back. Can you hear me? Oh, okay. So I. Oh, she just logged up. Okay. So we will wait for them to come back. But for everybody that's listening, um, that has always been a great question to me, is would the woman become what her husband is? So I feel like when you think about the forefathers, all 10, all 10 of them, well, actually, no, uh, I'm gonna have to say 9 of them took Canaanite women. So technically, that would not make their wives their tribe necessarily, because they were not, as soon as they were born, they were not necessarily known as tribes, but their women would technically just be living like that forefather is living. So living in the spirit of Simeon, living living in the spirit of Lakwai, living in the spirit of Rahawaban, living in the spirit of Yahawadan, Dan, Gad, Ashar, Naphtali, Zaha, Bahawaline, um, Banyamin, Issachar. They're living in the spirits of our ancestors, or living in the spirits of our forefathers. Mhm. So, according to the scriptures, the sisters would be what their fathers are still. So, if it was a daughter from Simeon, Simeon leading his house, which Simeon had no daughters, so a daughter from whichever one, because they seem to always want to leave out whether or not they had daughters, unless there was like something really big about her where she had to be mentioned. But let's say like Simeon's son had a daughter, that would technically be, and let's say his woman was not a Simeonite, which she would not be Simeonite until Simeon's children's children had children, and they had enough daughters, and then they kept the customs of Abraham and Sarah. So Abraham was Sarah's father, and Sarah was her father. So until that occurs, that's how you kind of get back to the kingdom as well. But if she was from the Simeonites, then she would be a Simeonite angel or messenger or sister. And then he would be, obviously, he would be a Simeon, uh, Simeon yearning or Simeon thinking. There we go. So uh, the Most High would definitely honor her father, or the Most High knows the truth is her father and her, and then the truth is his father and him. So if he was a Levi or she was a um Judah, then she wouldn't be a Levi because he's a Levi. So they would technically still be brought together under the covenant of the law, but they would not be from the same house, which is not that hard to understand. But okay. So we will give them a couple more minutes. If not, I will just kind of dive into another topic. But I didn't want to leave that part hanging because the sister might turn this back on later tomorrow whenever the recording ends, and she'll have her answer. So while we're waiting, we're just gonna give everybody a couple minutes. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and jump back into it. If anybody does decide that they want to come in, that's perfectly fine. But we're gonna go into the importance of brotherhood, um, and what that brotherhood actually is. So, something that I have seen a lot is that a lot of sisters begin to think that they are joining captivity once they become married to their husbands. Now, most of the times, it is the sister that would have a bigger problem with the sisters would have a bigger problem with the sisters wanting to talk to their husbands, but they will also have a difficult time understanding that you don't have to let certain things go or letting certain people know, certain people go. So the Most High God is giving your spirits, if you can feel it, if you can hear it, if you've heard this calling, the invitation to be in His brotherhood and to be in His sisterhood. So when you think about brotherhood and sisterhood, you definitely hear the need for brothers to be that everlasting presence in sisters' lives, but also sisters needing to be that in their lives. And that is literally the kingdom of heaven. So, in the kingdom of heaven, everybody is sister and brother. The practice of that has to remain in the necessity for practicing the righteous acts because it helps to keep sisters sane. It helps to keep brothers sane. And um, it also helps to keep that flow, that necessary um what do you call that sense of normalcy? There we go. That sense of normalcy, that sense of togetherness, that sense of peace, that sense of heavenly father, that sense of heavenly mother, that sense of honorary male and female, because brothers have to know how to be their wives, sisters as well, and sisters need to know how to be their husband's brother. In ancient Hebrew, if Sarah, and Sarah is the sister of Abraham, then Sarah definitely remained a sister to Abraham, and that in hand is what saved her and saved him in his soul from wretchedness, from conflict, from death, from for not needing it, but for righteously looking at the Most High and never leaving Him. So the Most High remembered their covenant, which is that they are sister and brother. So when you keep that relationship between the both of you, which is extreme understanding, extreme faith, extreme trust, extreme knowing, you keep that sense of family in between you and not that sense of dictatorship or royalty over the woman or the head above her. When you are her brother and she is your sister, you keep your head next to hers. So a lot of the times there's a body of the Lord, and brothers might think that they are head over her head, which is not the light, or they may even think that they are her replacement head. But the best way to be her head is to be her brother. And the brother position is going to be more so right next to her, um, or literally is going to be right beside her. So when you keep that in between you and your wife, it makes it easier for the brother to understand that it's important for her to indulge in brotherhood. And it definitely tells his sister it is important, it is vital that her husband keeps some kind of sisterhood, believe me, in his life. So, me personally, I am a very, very, very rare individual woman of the Lord, because I would want my brother that would want to become the head in a house, to understand that it is important for me as a tower against death to see him communicate and hold a conversation with other sisters and go out with other sisters and really just know how to exercise that it's okay for you to be next to a woman and not lust for her. It's okay for you to be next to a sister and not want her body. It's okay for you to still be at camp, because a lot of times brothers don't want to get married because they don't want to deal with their wife not wanting them by women. And it's like that is jealousy. So if the sister be unclean, if the sister be not for, give me 1 second, if the sister be not clean in her ways, or if she be something that's not godly, then of course, that's where you be definitely against that. And that goes for all sisters and even brothers. If the brother be unclean, or the brother be dealing with wicked spirits, or not really enforcing the law in his own home, then of course you don't want that by your wife, because he is not going to enforce the law by your woman either. He's going to be working in the spirit of adversity, which is, why is your wife even by me talking? And it's like, that's not brotherhood. So it would just be an example of like, certain brothers can be in the brotherhood and remain in the brotherhood, and certain brothers just can't stay brothers. That's effeminate. But certain ox just don't hear that that's the light. So when women go into these marriages, they are rightfully feeling like they are in captivity, because they may have been able to maintain those conversations with men. I know I used to. I used to literally get out the shower, whatever, I may have FaceTime my friend that was literally still my friend. Like, just because I entered a relationship, it did not mean that I was going to step outside of our union, or step, or whatever it was at the time. And when the sister is able to let her husband know, like, hey, this is my longtime best friend, this is somebody that I feel really connected to. This is a brother that is a friend. He was there when I was this, that, and the third. That is just really the epitome of Shalom, Sister Maria. Shalom. Shalom. I think you're on mute. Yeah, you on mute. That's
No,
okay.
it's okay. I was
Oh, there
saying
you go.
something else to somebody.
Oh, okay. Okay. So yeah, so basically, like, it's important for, and I understand entering a union, and the thing with the Hebrew Israelites is that you want to remain clean in your union, which is what sets us apart definitely from the rest of the world. But if you call a brother your clean brother, and you know that he is clean in all his ways, then it is something that is necessary. Sometimes a brother not looking for another wife, but he may disguise like wanting that communication with other sisters and really wanting like a reason to talk to other women. He may disguise it as, let me court another woman, and he really just wants that way that he can connect to other sisters and not be found, unclean. So the same with sisters actually don't have that same excuse, or that same don't have that same uh what do you say, that same like, how do I say this, that same support. So they can't say, oh, I want to go get another anything. They have to kind of just surround themselves with many sisters. The thing that I have seen with a huge group of so-called sisterhood is that misery loves company. If your husband cannot be involved in your sisterhood, then there is a problem. But I also know for a fact that if your husband cannot hear those conversations, if your husband cannot be like that so called prophet, because many sisters will say that a prophet is something for the nation. So they should never be seen as belonging to the woman because they can't belong to anything but the Most High God, or a prophetess, or a if he's a seer, or if he is a counselor, or if she is wise. Like those are jewels, those are talents, those are things you have to get back to the nation. If your husband cannot be within your sisterhood, then he definitely would need to reevaluate just exactly what he wants and where he is in standing in regards to Abraham and Sarah, who are the covenant within Israel, which is brother and sisterhood. So in the kingdom, they say nobody will get married because everybody is brother and sister. So that is Abraham and that is Sarah. So and one example actually, and then I'll see if Sister Maria has anything that she would like to input. Um, is that just really quickly, not naming no names because it's not necessary. But when I first started coming or started reading the Bible, I definitely joined sisterhoods and made, little groups. And it was innocent for me because I was single. I just wanted to learn like what sister can teach me, like what can he teach me, which is righteousness. So long story short, that same like well not that same, but a few sisterhoods later, there was just recently an incident with a sister and another sister and her husband. And it caused the one sister to let me know that she was extremely uncomfortable. And I chalked it up to the lack of support or the lack in righteous reactions that her husband actually had um to the situation that was going on, but also the lack in the urgency for the reaction um, from the sister who was actually there. So the husband was very close with the sister in their sisterhood, but the sister who had the husband did let me know, like, hey, my husband really needs some brothers. He really needs brothers. And she saw certain signs. Now, we didn't go into details, but she knew he needed some friends. And she said that he was getting too close to her friends, like too close for her comfort. But this was at least a year before the incident. So I'm thinking, like, by a year later, if you are his tower against death, you are his pillar of rest, I am definitely believing that she would have been able to help him obtain friends, which is, can my husband speak to your husband? And that's literally all I would have ever thought she would do. So she actually ended up not doing that. And her husband made an extremely derogatory remark to her sister. Now, my whole thing is the importance of sisterhood and brotherhood is that you want to make sure that the people that your wife is talking to, that her head is on straight. So you can't look at the woman head and hear what she's saying and judge it. You have to know her husband and make sure that her head is on straight. So her husband ended up telling one of the other sisters that just making some really rash remarks that I was actually astonished. I was upset. I was angry. I was disgusted. I wasn't understanding where that would come from, especially in somebody who wants to call themselves an elder. So it was the amount of comfortability that he had conjured up in order to say this thing. And then it was her very high amount of uncomfortability in what he has said. So so the heavens are literally the place where you go and see what happens. But I guess what actually needed to occur was that she needed to activate her tower against death and understand. Okay, sorry about that. She needed to activate her tower against death, and she needed to stand her ground in supporting her friend, but also supporting the remarks from her husband. So if he's extremely comfortable making these remarks, but she's extremely uncomfortable with the remarks, there obviously was a disconnect somewhere where he was building up an amount of comfortability to say this to the sister, and she was never receiving that they were building that kind of relationship. So the sisters that do not see that even if you do let that brother into your personal relationship with one sister, when it gets out of hand, you have to be able to help that woman out because she was wanting to keep herself and her family away and didn't really want to talk about it, which is a trauma response. So the sister definitely um, did not, react in the way that I would have. But I just seen that the lack of brotherhood with brothers can really affect the way that they interact with other human beings, period, outside of their wife. Now, the remarks he has said are appropriate for his wife, definitely, but they're not appropriate for somebody that is not your wife. Now, was the sisterhood and brotherhood between them monitored by their bridge or their link, which is his tower against death? Not at all. So it is a very deep, deep, deep need for people to know that you wouldn't go to work and make those kind of remarks because you would be fired. So it's something like it's necessary for everybody to know that sisters need brothers and brothers need sisters outside of their marriage, not more wives necessarily, because that causes a break in sisterhood because now they compete with each other. Now they crying, now they don't get it. Why they not enough? Why is it like this? And it becomes very cult and very very captivity like because of the way that you have to pretend that you're okay with that. So I'm like, there is a need for sisterhood with brotherhood. Now, another beautiful example, or a beautiful example of sisterhood and brotherhood is I have an amazing friend, Parya, brother Parya, and he obviously is my brother. I love him to death. I love him to life. Um, and brother Parya was, having a situation. I won't even need to go into it. But either way it goes, we became, close as sisters and brothers. We would talk all day for hours, and it was just innocent conversation about the Most High God. He told me he was getting ready to make a new move with an old person, and I just had to talk him into literally not thinking that he had to eliminate his friends. And I had to literally tell him for like 30 minutes straight, do not let the sister that took your joy, took whatever from you, take you away from a good sisterhood, brotherhood, or good friendship that you have accumulated while you have been healing from that situation. Um, so he, definitely took my advice, but it was like pins and needles for me because it's not that he wouldn't hearken because he hearkened immediately, but it was like 30 minutes straight of a harsh rebuke that is way better than secret love. There was no animosity between us. There was no hard feelings. There was nothing hurt. We literally just had a very stern conversation with, hey, don't let somebody do that to you. A couple weeks later, that did not work out for him, and he did not lose his sister, which is why it's important that you don't try to hurry up and scurry away from your family, from your sisters, from your brothers. And the Lord tells you to not lose a good friend. So he actually ended up reaping the benefit of hearkening to the sisterhood brotherhood between. No, I'm not a brother, but it would honestly still be like a sisterhood thing between us, friendship. And it helped save his mind. It helped to keep him on the right track. um and we still talk to this day. So I'm going to Sister Maria Rahaya. So let me read her name. Maria Rahaya. There we go. Maria. It's like Mariah Raya, but Maria Raya. Anyway, so I'm gonna let her talk, see if she has anything she want to input, cause her phone keep going out, and let's see what she has to say. Are you with us now?
I'm with y'all, but you said you wanted me to say something.
Yeah. So like, what is your input, or where do you stand in the sisterhood, brotherhood, when it comes to like keeping that relationship going with within the marriage? So like let's say your husband wanted to keep talking to a sister that is his sister, or he wanted to continue speaking with even a brother. Where's your heart kind of on that situation?
I mean, that's my personal point, my personal standpoint. I wouldn't see a problem with that because I believe that when you come in the truth, I want to be more like Yeshua. I want to be more like Christ. So with
All
that being
praises.
said, sorry.
I said all praises.
So with that being said, I don't want to be like in any way trying to hinder someone, from friendships, from relationships, because all in all, God want us, y'all want us to be, you know, good to one another, love one another. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't want to be in no part of anything, you know, that would hinder someone's relationship, even if it was prior to me being with the brother, or while we were together, they made friendship, male or women, it doesn't matter. I wouldn't want to hinder that. I believe that if you are in the truth and you go by the word as we should, there shouldn't be a problem. You should know where you stand. You know, so there shouldn't be any issue. That's just how I feel. Because when I wasn't in the truth, I probably would have said no. I wouldn't allow it because certain things could happen. I feel that you should have trust. Trust is a big thing, and
Right.
me, even if, let's say, like, I believe in people. I think y'all want us to believe in people. It's just like us. We want him to believe in us. That's the big part of it. It's like I want to treat people how I want to be treated, and then that's a good thing. Because can you imagine forgive and everything, and then we turn around and do things and want y'all to forgive us? You know what I'm saying? So that's why I just see things differently now. It's like I want to treat people how I want, how he want us to treat him, and how I would want him to, see me, So
Right.
uh, that's it. That's how I
All
feel. I feel
praises.
he's always watching us, and we're all our brothers and sisters anyway. We might not see it that way, but for him, he's he our father. We're all our brothers and sisters. So we need to. I mean, when is it the right time to act like your brothers and sisters? If it's not now,
Right. And before you came on, I was just going into the importance of actually maintaining that normalcy because it's normal to acquire relationships of with the opposite sex. And I know a lot of people disagreed, but the point that I'm making is that you can't see your brother next to you as your enemy. And the sisters as well. You can't see that sister that you call sister, and you feel like it's your sister. You can't keep that relationship in a mindset of you can't talk to my husband or you going off because if you are a reflection of your husband, then she is talking to your husband. So she should be able to be invited or he should be able to be invited in that brother or in that sisterhood that you're essentially obtaining. So for me, like I would need a brother to go do that. Like often I would literally be, do you want to go have coffee with this sister? Do you want to go like to a vacation? Like this sister been feeling down. I know we have we got a little bit of money in our bank account. Can you go be that brother for her? Like just something she can enjoy. And he might look like I'm playing, but I'm not because it's important for me to be exercising the way that I sister, which is like that. Go do what you want to do. Go have fun. Because it's not about sex at all. It's not about sex. A brother should think you have a beautiful wife because that's his sister in heaven. So it's like kind of like, she lives with you and nobody have a problem with that. But as far as like, and you prefer to put your rod in her, but you got to keep that friendship for your normalcy, um, in control. So for me, like, it's just like a lot of brothers would think about me like you, but I can't, like it's like that. Like I literally would need all of them to go do that. Like go get you a girl bestie. Go and be a married brother with a girl best friend. I've heard brothers wanting like one man wanted to court and get another wife just to humble his wife. And I'm like, come on now. If you want your wife to see you have a positive relationship with another woman, maybe you should try to be your wife's friend. Don't even think about going to get a girl to be your friend. You need to be friends and you need to be sisters and brothers with your husband and with your wife. Because in heaven, if you didn't exercise that, how do you look in the kingdom where you can't maintain friendships and brotherhood and sisterhood with other people that you've been calling your sister and brother? So it can like it can yeah, so it can get you out of that sense of like, like you'll either want to really be close to your wife, which is like a trauma, or you'll want to like escape her all the time. And it's not so much that brothers like separation is good, but separating and going to hang out with the guys, that's not always the fix because if you are needing that feminine touch and needing that feminine reaction and needing that sense of normalcy, if you are needing that um within the community or within your marriage, then it's important that you keep at least a few sisters and brothers that your wife probably doesn't know, which is good too. Like she don't always have to know, but if she wanted to, she would need to extrally want that, which is not, I don't see it a lot, but the sisters will say, well, yeah, he want me to help him get a sister wife. That is like to be in his business, and so he don't feel like he don't so he doesn't feel like he doesn't have to tell you what they doing. And it's more like a monitoring by that than anything, because for one, he shouldn't need help getting a sister wife or another wife, but some brothers just want another sister around them. So they might say that sister is funny, she's cool, she get it, she know how to break things down, she know how to pray mighty, she know how to do this. She has other qualities that you don't necessarily have. But I feel like I could work together with the sister, and it's like if she just do that because that's who she is, then but a lot of times brothers just want another sister. They might say, hey, that brother's wife is a beautiful singer or seamstress. Can I just go in there and let her fit me for a garment? Can we do that without her husband? And they would say he would just get out and go find another one. If you couldn't let your wife shine by brothers, sisters, children, animals, everything, then you wanted her so you can, like, like pounce on her. Like, you should trust your wives. And I think sisterhood and brotherhood, like you were just saying, trusting in your wives, trusting in your husbands that they won't forsake you, or that they won't leave you, that they literally. So a lot of the times, many Israelites just won't see that's normal. But I don't know. Like, how do you? What do you think?
As the way they view brothers and sisters.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Could hear you now. What was the question?
Oh, oh,
If you said anything, because I didn't hear you.
okay. Shalom. Kwam wasabala la awalam.
Shalom.
I don't. Why I can't hear? Oh, that's why I can't hear nobody. Okay, go ahead. Say that again.
I
No, I
said
just
shalom. Are you able to hear me?
Shalom. Yes, I can hear you, sister. Okay, I'm like, what is going on? Okay, Sister Maria, if you've been talking, I cannot hear you because you've been on mute. Okay, so we have been just diving deep, going into what it means to have a sister and a brother. So Sister Maria was responding, but I'm not sure. Are you still with us?
yeah, I'm here, but I just wanted to know what was the question.
Oh, okay. So basically, I was just responding to what you had said earlier. So, Sister Quam, do you go by Quam Or do you go by La
Mhm.
Awalam?
I go by Sister Kwam.
Sister Kwam?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all praises, all praises. Okay, so we have been going into just exactly what it means to keep the relationship of sisterhood and brotherhood within your marriages, if you are married, or your views on that outside of marriage and your views on that in marriage.
Well, that sounds like a beautiful topic. Um, I was married before I came into the truth, and after coming into the truth, after about a decade or so, that it did dissolve. Actually, it began to dissolve quickly, but in the truth, we are admonished to hold on, even if it was a worldly death. So I think that maintaining the sibling love is imperative. It's imperative. That is something that has to be restored within our people. And not only developed within our family, but maintained.
Did y'all sisters ask a question?
Okay, sorry. I was on the phone with a sister. So I'm just let y'all know right now I am a doula. Um so my sister, she has become my sister, literally is in giving birth right now. So I am definitely,
Oh,
yes, she went into labor super early. Her baby is 31 weeks. The hospital just gave me a bunch
oh,
of bad news. And I am not for it at all. They have given her so many different medications
oh
out of this
no.
world, the list she just named. And I told her to call me before they did that. So I do apologize. I did hear you though, Sister Kwam. Something that did stick out to me that you just mentioned is keeping that principle of love between us in everything and all things. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I think that principle of love can get lost in the translation of marriage, especially in the community of Israel. Um,
Mm-hmm.
the love has to continue for sisters as well. Brothers who, if you just don't want a certain sister by you, then fine. That is okay. But you can't knock that in other people.
Yeah,
Or
as
in
a sister, especially in the truth, you know, the odd thing about me was before I came to the truth, I still walked in the light because the Bible say what the Bible say before I met the brothers that preach in this way.
exactly. And I'm
So,
And I'm
huh?
blessed. I'm blessed and glad to hear you say that because it is important to understand and keep that whole mentality that the Bible been said what it said. So we've been sisters, we've been brothers, we've been these things. And
Yeah.
sometimes, there's a deep yearning for like, I want that brother that is like me. That's all it be. But that's the most high God. And it's like that because he knows that you want that connection. I'm not saying you shouldn't want connection, but if you have to be with somebody else just to have a relationship with another woman, it's not healthy in your life. It's not healthy in your
Mhm.
spirit. It can
Right.
affect, it affects how you counsel. It affects how you live. It affects everything, your gait, your sickness, your health. It affects you
Mm-hmm.
everywhere because you are essentially unable to maintain or to participate in any other kind of relationship but marriage. And I feel like that type of marriage definitely gets people like there's so you can make a post right now about multiple wives, you're gonna get 30,000 comments in a year. But if you make a comment about who want to do a Bible study, it's not that big of an audience. And it's like, who want to be
Right.
with me and my husband. And it's like, it shouldn't be no threat, because how the woman gonna exercise learning in silence if she's not really by other brothers? So she can't really do that, which is what a lot of people don't get is if you're not in a situation, you can't do it. So a lot of the times, like the sisters and brothers who can maintain a relationship with each other, they don't want to get married because they don't want to be on lockdown from communicating with other brothers or communicating with other sisters. And it's like, that's not
Mhm.
Israel. That's not an Israelite
I
marriage.
know, and that is what actually breaks my heart. I spent many hours of prayer about this topic itself. Have you ever read the Willie Lynch letter, sis?
No.
That is something, especially with you having a group this impacted. I believe that that is a moment, and that's a sit down moment because you have to go into that prayed up, and after you read it, you have to pray about it because you will feel all the emotions that you have all at once just reading that PDF. And I really see how it plays a part and runs so parallel with Deuteronomy 28 that is, oh, it's almost scary. Like they took us from us. And so when I sit and I see the nature of communication, gender relations, even intermarriage relationships that I see in Israel, it's disheartening because I feel like, how come? How did you get the truth and lose the love? Oh, I stay on the outside. I do. I sit at home and learn in silence. It's just me and the Most High studying this Bible. I probably sound like a recluse because that is all I do is study and pray. But
Mhm.
honestly, the topic that you brought up is very it's very deep. That is one of the deepest desires of my heart. You remember you read Tobit, right?
Yeah.
Where and it went the like before he took, I cry at that part every time, just thinking about it. Before he
Mhm.
touched that woman, he took and kneeled before God
Right.
and asked the most high's blessing. And the way he said it, I take this my sister, not in lust, but in love,
Right.
mercifully ordained that we grow old together. That's not the
Right.
most beautiful thing that you've ever heard in your whole soul.
I am not laughing at you. I promise you. You're reminding me of myself. I have been in love with the Most High since He created me. And I do the same. I will sit and study and study and study and pray and pray and pray. And I love it. It is what feeds me. It is what feeds me. It is literally my portion. So I definitely have understanding of reading his Bible when you in love with him. And it's like that's what I see. I'm like, I see a scared little boy
Yeah.
with Tobias. I see a very scared little baby. He probably was not scared because Raphael told him not to be scared.
What?
So
I don't see the scare. I think it was more like I think he felt more like a stepping into his calling moment because for the Holy Spirit to impress him to pray a prayer so impactful that all these years later it can reach into the soul of a woman who has been broken, abused, and still lift me up in hope
right,
of something beautiful
right.
like that. You know
And you
that
know
that
what?
was good.
You know what? The point that I'm making right now is that the Most High knows why. So
Yes.
my whole life is like that. I literally love a good Lakwai brother or a good Levi brother,
Mm-hmm.
because the Levi soul a good one,
Oh.
and that's what I see with Tobias and his daddy, Tybu.
Mhm.
So I know exactly what you're saying, and it's like for you, like you just said, like that's a very honorable brother, which is why
Yes.
he's written down because he has not only his dad that he's hearkened to, which is his actual dad, but he has the favor of an angel, um,
Yes.
and he has the favor of his father in heaven, Levi.
Look, and with
They're
all
knowing
that,
he's not afraid of stuff like that.
Right,
So
and with all that honor that he had to be even the companion of an angel, he still didn't neglect to be mindful of the small things that normally don't even matter to nobody but the women in somebody's life, you know. But a man that's mindful of even the bare necessity before engaging in any commitment, you're supposed to pray. But have you ever seen anybody pray before they take a wife?
that, and you know
Except
what?
that man.
That is something that I have been saying too, is the importance of prayer. We're gonna go into that right now. Okay, but I'm going
Hmm.
to the importance of prayer before you go into what you fear, or before you. Oh, okay. She does that sometimes. Okay, I think her
Hmm.
phone is dying. But the importance, and salak. I'm eating a chicken and a biscuit cracker. Um,
Okay,
but
enjoy.
yeah. So, um, the importance of prayer, but I have to, just before I go into that, I have to definitely mention exactly what you just said, which is that for his prayer and his example to reach into the soul of a sister thousands of years later, that is the Lord's son. Okay, because
Yes.
with second Ezra, second Hazarus, I cried for the whole day. And I said to God,
Oh,
I
which
cannot
one?
do that to you. Huh?
The whole book or which chapter? Like chapters
Now
9, 7 through
the
9.
whole book. I said, no way it's done. No, no way I'm done reading it.
Keep getting
Like
stuck with
I
the
promise,
sister in the field.
yeah, I said no way. So I
Mm-hmm.
literally was sitting. I was like, I was crying. You know how you cry, you finna throw up.
Yeah.
I wasn't
Yeah.
eating. I didn't eat. I'm like, I don't even think I should pray. Like, what do I do?
Mm-hmm.
And then I was literally like, I never did that to you. I did not do that. And I kept reading. It's like, you mean to tell me, you gonna tell me I'm an Israelite and I have done that? I know way
Man.
I didn't do that. And I literally was crying, and I was like wanting to tell God, like, I'm sorry. Like and it's like I don't even know how to see me
And I
sorry
do.
because I didn't do it. And then it was like that. So I seriously,
And you know what I've gotten to the point as, you know how you say, well, I didn't do that. But when we think about the scriptures, when it say that there is nothing new under the sun, and then it go in words that in Numbers where it talk about that thing um is man. So even from the beginning of times, Israel has been Israel. And so even if in our current mind we don't remember having done these things, we are still the same souls that are being refined here. He is
yeah,
persistent and diligent with our refinement. So I apologize again for any sins that I don't even remember committing in
that and
like
that's how
that
I
thing.
promise you that's I could tell you're single because I've been single for a very long time.
Yes.
Some people you gotta see, I will be there. No, I was see that no. So anyway, so yeah, so I knew like with Tybee so anyway, what I was trying to say is that is brotherhood. You know
Yeah.
that is being a brother. That is letting your light shine before everybody. That is letting your light shine
Right.
throughout generations to come. Being grateful that the Most High
Absolutely.
spared you your life, but
Mhm.
he let him meet his soulmate. Like that's how I see it. Like she is
Oh,
his mind. Like, you know, he not liking, but he can hear that brothers don't need anything but the most high God.
yes.
So me, I had seen that people have to go through the lake of fire to meet the most high God. Men do. And it's like it's something about like when the whole word is within you, how can you leave those spaces out? And
Question.
so it's like you be on the side of that's correct, the side of loving the Most High God in
Mhm.
His judgment, in the fear of the Most High God with His name. So I
Right.
have looked at every single thing, like that is an example of brotherhood. Now that is a beautiful example of brotherhood and sisterhood because, like you said, He came and he sat next to Sarah, and yes, this is his wife that he is about to take, but he told himself it is his sister, which is the
Yes.
which is
Because before he touch her, she is his sister. And
right.
as her brother, you're supposed to want what before you want her for yourself, you're supposed to want her for herself. You're supposed to want her to be the best that she can be without even your influence or intrigue or even interest. That's what a
Yeah,
big brother does. Because think about
that's
it, big
right.
brothers are kind of blow off. And they big brothers don't coddle their little sisters. They protect their little sisters.
Right.
They grow their little sisters up and they put them on game. And so the fact that I love the word of God. I do have to ask you a question. Did you start this sisterhood group?
Did I do what?
Did you start this sisterhood group? Are you the one that started this
Um,
group?
I just so I like to keep it open ended. It's
Mm-hmm.
called Just, which is
Mm-hmm.
Jewels under Spiritual Translation. Anybody
Mm-hmm.
can come, anybody can go. So brothers and sisters are welcome. But it is
And
called Just. So justification, justified. We do everything fair, and we keep
okay.
it right there in sisterhood, brotherhood. So if you married, unmarried, I don't care. I
Mm-hmm.
just don't have time for the whole spiel um of
Right.
the way that it's about to be.
Right.
So
I just appreciated it because I had often been saying, like, as Israel, I have never, I've always been alone because I'm strange and peculiar. I came here loving the Most High and not understanding why anybody would want to disobey Him and anger Him.
right. Don't nobody want that smoke with the Lord.
Huh?
Don't I know I don't. Stop doing. But not me.
Exactly. Like as much as I love him, he's the only being I am terrified. I am severely terrified of the Most High God.
Yeah.
And madly in love with. I am crazy about God. So the fact that when I came into the truth, my spirit got fed and filled up, and the way they take the scriptures, and the way they wield the sword, and the way they teach the truth, and make it all make sense, the things that you've been questioning and everything before. But I'm like, how did we lose the basics, the basic foundations of greeting each other in brotherly love and fellowship and praising God? Where's the praise of the Most High at? Now that we know the truth of who we are, now we only praise and talk about the enemy and what he's been doing to us. But it ain't no praise sessions in Israel. And so the fact that when I began to question the Most High about the sisterhood, like brothers have each other and they have their wives. But women don't have the sisterhood because society has trained women to be against each other dynamically, and then they don't really have their husbands because their husbands are theoretically called by the Most High. So you cannot own what is already in motion, what already has a mission. You can only assist him. You see what I'm saying? So it's like we've sat here and flounder in different things, and the more that we seek the truth, the more that light flows through us. So having outlets like this where we can come together and rejoice in the Lord and discuss concerns and questions that we have, that is very inspired. So I just wanted to say I appreciate just you walking in the spirit and abiding in that to do such a thing as this. Now, I may not be able to stop in all the time or even stay for the whole sessions when I do because
Mm.
I am a single mother. I
Oh,
have,
that's
and
okay.
I work constantly, so I just be a bit busy. But I love y'all and I
Oh,
appreciate
me too. What is your what do you have? Well, I'm recording this, so you don't have to say um your social media out loud, but we can um we can definitely link after this.
it. Okay.
Um I have a Just group on Clubhouse. So eventually this will move to Clubhouse and we'll keep it there. Maybe literally next week I'll start hosting this on Clubhouse because it's easier on there. And then
Okay.
I also have an Instagram page. So
Yeah.
it's not anything that's so like closed off or people gotta ask. It's nothing like that for me. It's
Mhm.
just It's just kind of like, being in the spirit of the Most High God. I'm hoping to get some brothers next week,
Mhm.
because I think that example just has to be there. Like, I have it privately, um, but I feel like it needs to be expressively out there.
Mhm.
Like, no secret love interest, no secret flirting behind it, no secret,
Mhm.
I'm looking to marry her one day. Just
Mhm.
literally, because sex is marriage. So
Yep.
that's for their hearts today. So it's like, the idea of wanting a woman later to marry is, I want to have sex with that later. Marriage is building the house of the Lord. That's what marriage is.
Mhm.
So I feel like
That's a
seeing a
good
brother.
topic.
Yeah, yeah. So definitely we have hit a lot of beautiful points. Um, a lot of and I'm laying on my floor, y'all, cause yes, but
It don't
a
feel
lot of
good to the back. I'm gonna go lay on my porch. I need some sun and that same
oh
way.
yes, I love the sun like white on rice. I literally
Mhm.
begged for the sun to make me blacker. I have been.
No, and you
I'm
got all
also
that
do a little
pretty
segment
melanin,
on.
and I'm a little bit jelly. I be trying to sit out there, and I moved back to my hometown
Mm,
just recently, and so I'm lighter this year than I have been for the past feel like 10 years of my life. Couldn't
mm.
make it without that extra
Yes.
melanin.
So me, I'm gonna have to let everybody know. I took a Nazarite vow. I think in December or January. I can't remember. But my hair has I have not used shampoo at all since it has been growing back. Now my edges over here, and I don't even care if you see it, but this was completely bald. Okay, this was completely bald. I have been using rice water.
Mm-hmm.
I also was using regular water, but I've been using rice water. I've also been using kale water, so like the water from the greens, just squeeze it and
Really?
save it. And I did like a kale massage. And the next,
Really?
yes, and I've been only using all natural oils, so no Jergens, no nothing. I've been very, very, very health conscious, very health conscious. Very keeping it in the lure, so making sure that things in my house I can eat it. So I kept thinking about, why am I putting lotion on my body if I can't eat that lotion? Like you say, do not put in your mouth, but it's still
Yes.
entering my body. So it's
Thank you
kind
so
of
much.
like, that's something that made me know,
Thank
like,
you.
you have to live with the Most High God. So I just use a whole bunch of oil, sunflower oil, canola, no, not canola, olive oil, grapeseed oil, avocado oil. Mix all those oils together and keep it on your skin. Anyway, I said it because you mentioned the sun. So I did that. And I was like, okay, if I put olive oil on my face and oil, when I go in the sun, like, it's gonna bake me. So like I literally was like,
I use olive oil on purpose in the sun because it's a very healing and rejuvenative oil. Olive oil is the only oil that will penetrate all the way down to your bones. So if you're having
mm,
aching bones, you don't want to use the different things that Esau and things tell you to use. We use natural products and like that. And so when you put the olive oil on your joints and aching things and go sit in the sun, that is literally probably where they got the idea of icy hot because that soothes away the
mm,
aches and things. Olive oil is very beneficial, especially to Israel. It's been
yes.
dynamic with us.
Yes. So I've been putting it on. It doesn't, my lips, you will never need CarMax. And it's like, imagine this been sitting up in your cabinet like all this time. Like, the best part is my lips. I don't feel, how you start getting that burning feeling around here. Like, even if it get like a little bit of chap right here, it's not
Hmm.
chapping and cracking and bleeding.
Right.
Eczema, like that itchy, like, it's just not there. Like, it's something else. It's some kind of food, because I have been pretty, I don't, it's something they have done with some food, because when I was a kid, food didn't do me like that. But
Hmm.
I'm gonna go raw vegan one of these. I'm going primarily plant based in the light. Um, so I have been eating a lot of okra stews, but I just wanted to share like the importance of being a sister and not gatekeeping. You know, that's also in sisterhood where women gatekeep and say, "Oh, I'm not telling her. I'm gonna only tell her," and it's like. That idea is like a mine
Well,
Esau wants, and Esau can't have our skin or our hair,
Mhm.
no matter what he do. Nobody can get like that, but Judith is, like a way, like, so it's like I can't be somebody's sister if I'm gatekeeping information. We
right.
can't arm
Because that's not
together.
right.
We can't do
Filtering
nothing together.
information. Right. We all are filters. But if you filtered through the madness, all this madness out here and found a nugget of truth, why would you not share that with other truth seekers?
Right.
I completely concur. I completely concur. And I love
Right.
natural health and beauty recipes because that's who we are. I don't really do makeup because I feel like it's an insult to God's handiwork. I'm pretty sure He made me beautiful
Oh
when He
yeah.
made me. Only He know what
Yeah.
beautiful looks like.
Definitely, and that's right. Like my earthly mother's youngest daughter, she kept asking me like, "Do you have makeup on?" I'm like, "No," and she was like, "You're lying." I'm like that. Like I mean, I just be very
It's your
intentional,
spirit.
and I don't think about it. It's already there. Because I have a friend who was saying, I'm like, I just don't see it. But I guess I wasn't paying attention. But sometimes the brothers don't let many things get out their camps either. So they be gatekeeping information in their camps, why they like certain people,
Yes.
what they want to do. And gatekeeping is like not necessary, especially when you want the most high to open his gates to you,
I
you
feel
know.
like I feel like that is a conversation, and I don't know why my heart is burdened with this matter because I'm a woman. What like I understand that that still means something to the Most High, but where we are, it is imperative that our brothers unify. And
Oh
so,
yeah.
like you're saying, that gatekeeping issue, and I am a member of a congregation that is very exclusive. So I could probably be called up on council just for having a Facebook page where I conversate and congregate with other believers. But I feel like so here's the situation. I'm born Israel. Being a part of this church doesn't make me Israel. Before I knew
Right.
I was Israel, I was still Israel. And
Right.
even
And
before,
that's wisdom, and that's me because I said the same thing. I'm like, when somebody, how long you been an Israelite? Um, since birth.
hmm?
Like you can't, like there was no start button.
Yeah,
You
and my
know.
daddy, I was raised by a man because my mama was out here and strung out and different things. You know how the 80s and stuff was for our people. And all of us were affected in some kind of way, whether immediate family or extended. And so my dad was very adamant about keeping me structured, and my father raised me as a man for a woman. So I didn't come, even though I grew up in the 90s, I'm not a 90s girl. I've never
Um.
have been, and the mentality of feminism and this all inclusiveness is okay. So that's why I say I agree with it to a certain extent, but I also I'm about exclusive because I feel like why should we have to share every damn thing all the time? We've already shared everything, but amongst ourselves it should be openness and love. So I feel like the filters and things needs to be out to protect us. But as far as I don't know, I feel like the burden on my heart is there needs to be a meeting of the heads of each camp where everybody sit down. You remember, I don't know if you ever went to church before coming into the truth, but Sunday churches, you know how they used to have
Oh
this
yeah.
thing called lock-ins. Did y'all ever have lock-ins? Is
Oh
youth groups.
no.
Oh, okay. Well, that's something that they would come and they would keep you there, and they would lock at a certain time. They would lock the doors so nobody wouldn't leave, and it would be a prayer session. The kids would have like games and different things. But I feel like a lock-in is necessary for whatever differences and animosity that they have against how some walk in the doctrine. Here's my thing, and this is why some people consider me, like friends or whatever. But the significance is your understanding of a passage does not mean that that is the understanding of that passage. That
Right.
can be a understanding of it. And that
Right.
is truth. But the truth that you have gained from that does not negate the truth that this person has gained from that has a different understanding of that passage. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And then when we all actually stop and think about it, our God, oh my God, what do you think Omni mean? If Omni goes in front of everything,
Right. Mm.
if
And that's the
Omni
most
goes,
high
yes,
because
Omni goes in front of every description for the Most High. That means, as a finite person, you cannot think to even think that you could comprehend everything that he meant when he said that one thing. Because you can't even think of all of the instances in which that applies at once. You see what I'm saying? And so I feel like that is what has caused so many differentiations and so many sects of animosity. And that is not the doctrine of Israel, because the doctrine of Israel is love. Not like they blue-eyed right hair Jesus, blue-eyed blonde hair Jesus that they teach. I'm talking about actual love. Love is an action word. That means some that means when in the good, the bad, and the ugly. You can't have a beef or y'all disagree about this, and so you ain't never gonna talk to this person again. That's your brother. What is that?
yeah.
That's your sister. How can you be that
Right.
way?
It's like a conversation earlier. Somebody's trying to go into Paul again, and I'm like, I will never sit and take nothing up off of Paul because what, like you trying to get the kingdom, like it's like that to me. Like he was there when Yahweh Shai, Emmanuel, the everybody was like he's still there with them. So it's like he do how he want to, which is why I don't look at nothing like anybody can be in a testament, and you just don't know. One day they might wake up and be, yeah, I seen me do that, and the Most High is like, that's how it be. Like he doesn't lie; he say what he did, and he repent.
Yeah.
So it's like when somebody is repenting, that's kind of like how I see stuff too, like the importance of repentance within sister and brotherhood.
Right.
It's,
And forgiveness. Because with
mhm,
repentance comes forgiveness. And there
right.
and that is the reciprocity thereof. That's what people fail to realize about love being an action word. Because love is an action, for every cause there is an effect. To every action there is a reaction. And so the act of love in repenting, the reciprocity for that love is forgiveness. And like and so on and so forth. When somebody comes to you, and this is one of the things that has distraught me with the institutionalization of our heritage, because this is not a faith. We are faith. That is why we the people of Israel are faith. This is our very being. God brought us forth out of two different man, just the way that he has that everything that it took to make us who we are today is precious in his sight. So to look at any other Israelite and disregard that life is, man, blasphemous. Oh no, my phone is about to die.
Oh no,
Did
that's
I
okay.
turn it on?
But
Okay.
yeah, I definitely know that the brotherhood needs to be a little bit more brother too. So
Mm-hmm.
brothers who want to be feminine, you
Mm-hmm.
if you need a best friend that's a sister, it's important for your development that you
It
don't be
is.
so on brothers or so on sis. Like you have to create boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
For so many things. So it's kind of like that for everybody. So I guess it just helps us. We're not of this world, and
Right.
I love that part. I love, but then it's like it's only one world to me, like the world of truth.
Right.
So that's why it's like, well, Where exactly? So I just come out like I don't go in it. That's how I see me. Like I'll never go in to like the traditions of Esau. Esau
Mm-hmm.
is like very don't touch my wife, don't talk to her. Like, you know, very
Mm-hmm.
tyranny. And it's like if that's a sister of Israel, if she an Israelite, then she will be by other Israelites in heaven. And they might have to sit by each other and touch. If God
Mm-hmm.
said, everybody get packed in my car right now, I'm finna come on
Right.
I'm coming on my remnant truck. Okay.
Y'all
Uh
gonna have dudes sitting on the
y'all gonna
dude's
have to right, y'all gonna have to lap up. Y'all gonna have to lap
that
up.
part.
Okay. And he would see you gonna have to let her sit on his lap.
But look,
Okay, and she gonna have to sit on his lap.
and we are the
Okay.
people that's supposed to greet each other with a brotherly kiss, and we
Right.
we, we don't even shake hands no more. In some congregations,
That's
ooh,
what I'm
you can't
saying.
even touch
Like
the
you
sister's hand.
right, you supposed to be like he Shalom. Remember you used to get a whooping all the time.
I'm
Your dad
telling
used to whoop
you.
you. Okay,
Years
so
ago, when I was new, I was excited and caught up in the spirit, and I went to give somebody a hug when they was like introduced, going around meeting the new members, and I was like, gonna give somebody a hug, and literally somebody like shot away from me, like, whoa, dude, that was more scary than anything. Like for real, hugs is
yeah, yeah.
right.
So and if he said, "Hey, others sit in the front and everybody else sitting in the back,"
Okay.
I
Yep.
might only put one person in the front with me. Okay, and then
Mhm.
everybody else sit in the back. We don't got
Right.
time for if you arguing, you got that argue spirit. Okay,
Yep.
so if you can't fit in the car, then that's what I'm saying. Because I might put her with that brother to get the remnant. Okay, so
Right.
quit thinking that you hate him. Okay, because the most high is that's what it was said over for them who do that. But he would say and he's not going nowhere to everybody put their seatbelt on. Okay, and
Right.
he would say is we making sure everybody's safe on the way to the Lord. Is we
Exactly.
making sure that everybody is in love with the Most High God. Is
Amen.
we seeing what's important first? Is we seeing what is there first? Are we loving God?
That part.
Are we in love with Him? Are we keeping in love with our sisters and brothers? You know,
Exactly.
because the Most High has seen that it's necessary for us to understand He is the Father. So Dinah, who was with all 12 or all 10 of her brothers, she would definitely understand, you know, what is wrong with them too if they had something wrong. And
Yep.
she would know what to do for them. But do you think Dinah not gonna sit on Levi lap?
That
Okay.
part.
Do you think Dinah not do you think Sarah wouldn't sit on Melchizedek lap? Do you think Melchizedek wouldn't sit on Sarah lap? They might have gotten in like that, where
That
she
part.
gotta hold him. Okay. And the most high would have them understand who can hold the babies. You gotta be out that mindset of this my wife. She can't be talking to him. If he an Israelite and you call him brother, that's her brother in
It's so
law.
good.
That's literally her brother in law. Like not that way you looking at it, but the
Right?
brother in the laws of the most
Of
high
the Most
God.
High. Exactly.
So you want to keep her from her brothers in law, brother in law, sister in law. So it's like, well, no, that's not my wife, real sister. So then it's why do you keep calling each other sisters? If it's not your wife, real sister, then what is the so you got sisters and sisters in laws and friends and oh, that's just the girl from camp. Like, why do you call her sister? You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So it gets like that for people. Now, if people like, I remember when I first came in, a brother had told he had called a brother. We gonna we're gonna say his name is Kwamna. Okay, so he was like brother Kwamna. So I'm like okay. So I'm like Kwamna. I watched his video. So he was like brother Kwamna, and I'm like what like Literally, my whole son. I don't even know how to explain it, but I'm like, okay, brother Kwam now. Like, literally is how I seen it. Like, what do it matter? Now, if he prefer to be called brother, then okay. But you know what I'm saying, brother Kwamna. You know what I mean? So it's like, is he everybody brother? That's why I didn't do it. I'm like, I've never seen him be my brother, so that's why I'm not saying
Right.
brother.
And see, and that's why I say when I say sister, I actually am sister to everybody that I have ever come into contact with. I don't meet strangers. I either meet family or I meet enemies that I deal with wisely. That I deal
All
with
praises.
wisely.
Right.
Okay.
And the best way to deal is to not deal with him.
And that's how you deal wisely with it.
Right,
Give
exactly.
them a wise
Exactly.
berth. Exactly. And
Enemies is
I'm
not in
looking
the
at
sisterhood.
that's
Enemies
right.
is not in the brotherhood. So if it's your
Exactly.
enemy, quit calling it your brother. Now if it's made
Exactly.
you, exactly. So I guess like for me, um, I guess it just gets there for many people. But um we definitely will have a continuing of this conversation. I do have
Absolutely.
to call that sister back and
Okay.
make sure she's okay because she did not expect to go into labor
Call her.
today,
Let's
and
send up
her
prayers for
husband.
her and the baby. While they in the in the matrix, I guess, for a better word.
Hmm.
Because the
And her
baby coming
husband is
through.
at the award ceremony or whatever happening in Texas.
Oh.
Um, yeah, he's on his way there. So we
Well, when
will
you call her, let her
definitely
know that
have
she
a
got to
prayer
listen
in the
her up.
name of the Most High. I prayed. Ahaya,
And,
amen, amen, amen.
Mhm. All
So,
right, it has been a blessing, sister. Thank you so much for
oh,
having us. I don't even know how I got that invite. I was not looking for. I was actually going to go to sleep because I got a flight at 3 o'clock in the morning. But
no praises.
I did need this upliftment because I was a little stressed out and I don't even remember what about no more. That's
That's the Most High. All
how
praises. Wait, what is your Okay, you can inbox me. You can add me
Okay.
on Facebook. I think
Okay.
I'm gonna just keep it
And my
there.
name is the same on Facebook and on Clubhouse. So whenever you get a
Oh,
Clubhouse room, if you create a house, send me an invite to the house so that I just sign as a member.
okay. What is okay? Mine is Yahadat, so it's YHA.
Hold on, let me put it up. YHA.
DATH. It
D
should
is in
be,
Delta, ATH.
yeah. I believe I'm the only Yahadath in the world. It
And
should
it's
have
Y,
popped up.
so it's YHA
Yeah,
DATH.
yeah.
And that's
Why?
on Facebook or on Clubhouse.
That's Facebook. Did you see it?
Because I'm on the phone that I have my Facebook on, so I'm gonna
Oh,
have to do
okay.
that after we get
Well,
off.
if anybody does want to join the clubhouse, it is JUST Jules under spiritual translation.
Okay,
That
you
is
know
the
what? I
whole
might
house.
have you.
Huh?
That sounds familiar. You might be one of the rooms I have. I'm gonna check
No,
on
I
there.
just created this
Oh, you
house
did?
literally.
Okay.
Yeah, but my do I have a name thing on here? Okay, yeah. So my literal clubhouse is at Yahadat. So I had to make a new one. I didn't
Hmm.
want to, so I lost my other people, but whatever.
Okay.
So it's at Yahadat, and that's pretty much it. Um, I'm the tribe of all yoke to Salasadal. Judah 4 and 9 is my mind, and yeah,
Okay. Awesome. Awesome.
yeah.
Well, it's a pleasure meeting you, Akwaf. It's been a
Oh
beautiful
wait,
fellowship.
what's your face? Well, you don't have to say it on here if you don't want to, but
My government.
oh no, your in your Facebook.
Oh, my Facebook is my Hebrew name, Kwam Wasabal La'aiwalam.
Oh, it's what we have here. Okay,
Yes.
let me see. Yeah.
That's my
I don't.
Gmail address and my social media names.
Okay, are you this one with the black fam?
Yes,
That's the,
I'm covered.
okay.
I'm
Okay.
covered completely with a
Okay.
crown that has purple on it. Took me 7 months to make that garment. All them
Okay.
skirts.
You made it.
Yeah.
Oh, do you make garments? I have an
Yeah.
idea for a garment.
Oh, I
Literally.
would love to help you bring it to life. Yes.
Yes, it's you and another sister that do literal garment making. And I know
Yeah.
like she
Even the
do
jewelry. All of that.
customs.
All that
Oh,
I'm
I don't
wearing in
like
that picture.
jewelry.
The
If I wear
jewelry, the
jewelry, I like a
staff.
body jewelry. I don't like a head jewelry. As
Yeah.
deep as it can. I don't want it on my arms either. I just can't
Okay.
handle that.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you like what? Like anklets or belts or girdle things or what do you like as adornments?
Actually, I have a jewel like piece that will go on the garment. So like, I have
Okay.
a very very cool idea for a garment. But
Yes, discuss it with
yeah,
me.
yeah,
I
definitely.
am a
I'm a
homebody. I stay at home. Like I say, I work from home. I school from home. I homeschool my kids. I believe that a woman's place is in the home because this is the place from which we can operate with the most power of our being. So I'm always here whenever. Just give me a call, text, shoot me a DM, whatever. I would be glad to go over
okay.
that with
All praises, all praises. So the water, the water, the water. In the name of the Most
you.
High, we are going to end our live.
I'm on.
All
Shalom.
right, shalom.